Austin, and I'm here to talk about drums. I want to just do shop talk. Don't let me think about anything else, or I'll lose my train of thought. I think I'm well enough to do this. Please understand that when I work from the privacy of my domain and residency under the disability um, I'm living with. And I cut myself shaving yesterday. It started bleeding again this morning. So if I get distracted easily from my quality here, I'm on medical marijuana only, and I'm trying real hard to work with my blood pressure and qualities. My statement here for the drums, as I want to detail it, if I can do this, is very polite. If I can remember what I'm doing, I'm using different drumsticks from different reasons. And my notion here is as tone and the idea of being sensitive in nature. I'd like to put the phone down, but I can't right at the moment. I got to hold it. I wish I could see the phone better. The rotate line. Just to show, there's a on that side. There's no bottom head on this. This is just a tambourine, but I got it muted. See the piece of paper that's in here? All right. I'm pressing against the head. Now this is made with rubber coating. These are rubber tipped. Where is it? Right here. They're on these. Right here. And the statement I'm just going for was just to sensitively introduce myself into a sense of purpose of technique and touch and reasoning. Now, the thinking here is the actual drum heads being used are the manufactured parts that come with a special limited edition from the Pearl Drum Company. So I tried to preserve them, and like I'm demonstrating, technically speaking, yeah, this is the drum head itself that I'm talking about. It's rough. It's thin. It's rough. It's kind of like a congo, kind of like a bongo, kind of like a head. To be played by the hand. It's a hand drum. This is not supposed to be a stick drum. It's supposed to be a hand drum. So is this. This is supposed to be a hand stick instrument. See, the tone is tight, but the more you hit it, the lower it gets. The harder you hit it. In the middle, too. That's the 18-inch. This is the 22. So they're very loud and vibrant and crisp. Then you want to keep that down to adult. You want to keep their volume under check if you're going to be able to play it with particulars. Or you don't want. I mean, they're made to be ringing more than they are. They're supposed to ring. And with that said, I flattened them and making the flatness coming out with the top heads, the batter heads they call these. These are the resonant heads, the bottom heads ring. I'm playing in my music theory for touch and strength and angles and approach. Or I'm thinking the technology suggests otherwise, that my abdomen, from the diaphragm, from the time I reach my wrist to the stick tip, while I'm sitting and breathing and holding my pulse basically into a position here, I have to be able to work. Do I do this on my knee? No, I gotta gently reach from my knee, where the ball here is, to my knee, from the middle to the motion to the foot. I'm watching the beads touch the bass drum pedal while I'm playing. I'm going, oh, look at this. It's like a little machine now. I'm a little Tonka truck, right? I'm doing it. I'm really playing like that. And I'm playing with the sensitivity of the notion that and the clock struck 10 and 3 and 4 and you see what I mean? You just keep breathing. I got no choice. I'm going to be doing this with or without the movie playing. But I'm telling myself, there's the padding. I've got levels of it. I've got paper for resonation that I make the drum heads echo. While I'm attacking the drum with the bead of the stick to the surface contact surface area, whether it's metal or membrane for resonance, ringing, sustain, and muting for making a note long or short, tight, compressed, or resonant and ringing vibrant, letting the instrument reflect itself by the resonance and tone. When you use two drum heads and you have a front drum head and a bottom drum head, like the snare does too, I'm going to turn the snare over, at least look under it for you and show you something kind of impressive. It's kind of broken, but I use it anyway. This is how they gave it to me out of the store. Yeah, cool. If I go on the floor, I'm on the floor right now. If I do this for fun, I'm doing it just for fun. Hey, I don't want to get a heart attack. I'm under my drum stool right now. But if I do this for fun, see that? It's all bent and everything. It's loose. I did it. See that? That's a 12-inch snare drum. Oh, come on. What did I just do? I lost the stream because I touched the friggin' phone wrong. Okay, don't let me swear. I'm trying not to get hurt on my belly here. I'm on the floor. I'm trying to make sure the camera works. It's starting to be funky. I'm doing things weird, but I'm doing it on purpose. I meant to talk about this stuff for a long time. I'm just trying to pass some time. Now, here's some good time. These are the real deal pedals I'm using, and they're very particular to my sensitivity and nature. At this time, I'm very familiar with them, and they've, under the circumstances in which I've lived, I consider these a part of my anatomy right now. That's a heirloom from 1963. All right, and this is the drum pedal setup that came with the drum kit. And they're great. It's great for me right now. They're working really very particular. They're weighted. See the weights on the mallet, height, and everything. And they're also wearing out the drum heads where they were originally worn out, given to me used from a drum show. That's manufactured parts that don't sell. This is not retail. I can't go buy these drum heads off the store rack anymore. You know, they don't sell them. All right. They're going to get dry and brittle eventually. I hope not, but I'm trying to maintain them. See all those stick marks on the drum head and the wear out? That came with the drum when I bought it. As much as I think so, they were used lightly, and then I used them again. But, you know, I can't blame everybody. I'm just saying I put wear and tear on original parts that I don't want to destroy anymore. So they were being gently used when they gave them to me. And now with the humidity and the rust, there's rust on here, and there's metal that's supposed to be wood that is metal parts on these drums that are very manufactured, very special. Let me get off the floor. I'm getting too comfortable on the cool, soft floor under my abdomen. It's very comfortable. I could fall asleep right now under my drums, having my drum conversation with you. It smells good down here, too, where my feet normally go. Isn't that incredible? I smell my rug. It smells like baby talk to me right now. All right, anyway, listen, I just want to go back to bed, smoke a bowl, talk about drums. The thing I'm concerned about in these issues, on drum issues, is particularness and quality traits that make one drummer different than the other. It's not bragging, bravado, and egoism. I want to start showing everybody the distinguishment between me, you, and the man on the moon so we can communicate and raise our kids to show off qualities that we might have endorsed or enforced or reinforced as quality remembered. All right, so for Pearl Drum Company, on behalf of Jesus Christ, St. Benedict's Cross, Satan, take back your poison, and peace humanity, I want everybody to know before the big flash of recognition and safety and security and hope and justice, we have to cope with our real physical anatomy and form. I think drums is a universal language, and my particular form of expression, recognizing the intelligence of the body as I see it today. You get where I'm coming from, guys? See where I'm at is from this button, you press this button here. See, this is a stool. It's my drum control room, right? There's the button. There's where my spinal column and my body goes right here. There's my center. It's going to be yours too if you ever followed me in a drum stool. Now from here, I'm breathing. The blood and the equilibrium now for 53 years after all the miles and damage and turn, which is not bad. I'm pretty strong. God made a good one for me. This is a memory and a prayer and a dream come true, and I recognize in actualization, right? Self-actualization and reality. The algorithm and change from fatigue and distress and the quality of restoration and rehabilitation and physical stature with my spiritual form. I've become intelligent enough to gently adjust. Again, one more day, angles on fulcrum points, pivot points, ledges, heights, and exertion so I can get maximum productivity from the least amount of exertion of energy to make most work production effectively, efficiently from memory, muscle memory retention, to reflect instinctively and react and rebound and otherwise control in the mute of silence, from silence to volume control to excessive volume and force, to threaten or force or interact or conditionally affect with thumping the vibration loud enough to be low end with the G-force behind it. Now, these are top-heavy pitches that ring more and flat to supplement and augment a top end separation in the equalizer frequencies, separating them from the tones that I can produce muted and safely sustainable low end from every membrane and surface contact area here. That's like an electronic field to me of vibration based on the acoustic properties of the nature of the instrument and my quality that I cooperate with my physicality at the time, which is very under control, no matter how wet and juicy I look, shrinking as I am because of my equilibrium being so. I'm exponentially fast now. I got exponentially fast in my breathing and adrenaline and chemicals reaction to the situation of the physical form of holding myself in context with the blood available to me to work with it on this instrument. When I get to that point, it's never off because it's just something I live with. It's a physical reaction to the functional form I'm improving based on finding out and discovering in the exploration of my reach, intentionally improving myself with a therapeutic quality that rejuvenates me, whether they cared about me or not with the doctors. They couldn't do it for me with sport or VA medical services. They can't live like that. They got to use my nervous system and find out what I'm talking about for me to work with anybody to help outside of the basic, which is, exoskeleton and nervous system issue, soft tissue, nerve damage. I work with the physical form and an acoustic property sensibility as an instrumentation, calibration. I never was my age yet, so I don't know how to feel about being my age doing it, but I have to admit to you that I've never tuned my snare drum to ever effectively sound that way in my life on this instrument, 12-inch by 4-inch Latin American Brazilian instrument converted into a snare by the Pearl Manufacturing Drum Company. This one was in Nashville at a drum show, and it's a one of a kind. And I don't know why it matters to me, but because of the nature of my time and my experience right now, under the circumstances I developed in, I consider this my Christmas era kit for the rest of my life. I don't know why. And the copper cymbals from the Vinyl Drum Company are superb for this particular metal instrument. This is metal drums with wood drums that are particle board, press board, not even wood, to make a very particular, unique, light carry, low end, extremely audible, quiet, thin shell. I can't express with steel hoops on it. I mean, it's freaking vibrant. The thing has an electromagnetic reverb quality that I have contained it in volume and depth that I don't feel the mission. I used to let this instrument dictate its terms to me based on the instrument I was playing at the time. And then I became something out of necessity because people were pissed off hearing me with my electric drum pads being heard, touched, tapped on. And I said, well, let me try to remember how sound sounds in the electric headphones here. And let me remember what it feels like to play instrumentally with my body, knowing acoustic processes, how you move to create the tone, to create an acoustic tone out of the property of the nature of the contact instrument, whether it's a string reverberation, muted or sustained. You have to know how to touch them. So I started using the sticks like a mallet, like a piano, like a string, like a pick, like a finger. And I started using my feet with this double bass thing, like I used to feel like I was calm sitting down as a child, which I haven't felt like in decades, let alone a long time recently, under my homeless nature and my girlfriend leaving me and everything, and my mother being taken away from me and everything. So I'm using my drum video to tell the truth. This is the perfect moment that I came back home and I got to leave this property immediately because it's so freaking not going to be legally sound for me to remain here like this among these crowd control efforts that aren't existent for me and safety for me. And I got to go. Where's the. See, I lost the camera now because I'm switching hands. See, I switched hands. I can't do the camera now. Where's the camera? It's in front of me. See, I forgot. I switched my right hand, which is getting stiff, sore, and dripping, pouring wet from holding the phone, which is a surgery hand. I'm like a half dead body trying to work very hard, breathing restfully in an isolation contained environment that's unsafe to kind of habitate more than, X amount of time moving around a certain way. Now, let me get off the phone. I got up fast from the floor, which is unusual. It's going to be 80 degrees outside today. I'm going to go outside and catch some sunshine while I got the opportunity to waste a little more time. I'm waiting for people from the Veteran Administration to get back to me with no fear of God, they told me, about any issues with anybody for any reason. We'll see you next week. We have a lot to deal with this week with you, and we're going to handle it. So, we're going to try to get me my drum video time. We're going to try to get me some chances to do things legally and properly with the cooperation of the state of Florida and the Governor DeSantis, with the cooperation of Duval County, JSO, Jacksonville Sheriff's Department, services rendered for careful consideration as a civilian citizen trying to play his blackjack with his free chips, always interrupting him when he's live. Okay. See, there. I can't keep the live stream because I touch the phone when it interrupts and jumps on itself and starts talking to itself when I'm talking to it. As soon as I go on and talk to the phone and touch it the wrong way, I get flashed out with a notification. I even breathe on it wrong and the screen blacks up and the interrupt. Let me get off the phone anyway. Austin's excited. I don't mean to bother anybody. Drum talk is valid for me on a lot of levels once I get my sense of purpose back in order, that I could just sit down with microphones over my drums and quietly, with people appropriately so, discuss considerations that would be considered, valuable and all. All right, I got a lot of shit I'd like to share. I don't want to ruin anybody with it. It's going to be about touching the drums. It's going to be about the quality of a electromagnetic tone, which I'm calling out of these hoops for. I want to talk to Pearl. I want to talk. I got their emails and their phone numbers from Nashville for the guys that I spoke to about my issues. I don't know why they're not. I should be. Nobody cares about crazy people, but they should care about me. You know what I mean? Pearl Drums should care about me by now. I'm not the only drummer for Pearl. Don't get me wrong. I like other drums. I like all kinds of things. But Pearl Drums should be talking to me about their product line. I have a lot of things to consider them for. If they make me do it without them, I'm going to have to take their freaking credit because they're giving me the intelligence to know the product line, and I'm not allowed to share my augmentation and my adjustment to it, which is special limited edition, one of a kind. That's what endorsement people need to be talking about, not the bullshit. I'm waiting for Pearl to talk to me. If they can't do it in Nashville, maybe they'll do it for me in Japan. And you know what else? That's the second time I told Pearl Nashville that personally. I've told Pearl Nashville that over the phone personally. If you don't give me my drum part right now, I bet Japan would have given it to me. How dare you tell me I can't get a manufactured part? I don't care how famous I am. All right, anyways, I'll talk to you about my drum heads and other things some other time. It's got a lot to do with starting out with a paper bag when I was a kid and getting a tone out of my drums for muting the top head of my drum and making it sound like a conga more than you got to understand. I know how to play hand instrument from my Uncle Dennis, who told me to be what I am today. Let me tell you, my Uncle Dennis taught me how to play the drums when I was 2 years old with a telephone book. And he told me how to hit a drum with my hand or a stick otherwise. And he told me what my dick was for when he started telling me how my drums were supposed to interplay with your heart for the rest of your life. If you start touching these drums, they can hurt you. So don't play until you're ready to touch them. Because when you start playing with a stick, you start playing with your blood pressure. You're not supposed to be standing there as a little boy holding a stick and touching things like this, waiting for people to show up. You're not supposed to do that. There's a lot of military in me from my traditional comprehension of drumming, and it comes from traditional family from my childhood. I want people to understand it's very one time only. It's one time only. I'm not a bad man. I'll be back.